Gentlemen, we're nearing the price range of the working man, around 6K or 7K. Who you got, Matt?
So I think this player is going to be pretty popular, but I kind of just have to go with him anyway. Reggie Jackson, to me, is way underpriced right now. Norman Powell being out, I think, has just added some extra usage for him. But for whatever reason, Jackson has gotten some big minutes lately. Like in the past, we've had injuries where Eric Bledsoe was out, let's say, who's not playing anymore for the Clippers, and Powell, who's out now. They traded some players away. But I think the Clippers are just intent on playing Jackson a ton of minutes, and he's played really well. So the only way that that doesn't happen tonight, I think, is if we get a blowout. But even so, Jackson is probably the guy who's going to lead that team to the blowout and should have a big enough fantasy game. So 6,800 might just be a price that we don't see for Reggie Jackson after the All-Star break. This could be a player who's 7,500 or more on just about any game. And this is a matchup with the Houston Rockets, who are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. So until Paul George comes back, I think this is just way too low for Reggie Jackson in general.
All right, Nick, who's your dude in this price range?
We talked about centers, right? And in this price range, Andre Drummond, 6K going up against the Wizards. I like him a lot. As long as KD and Kyrie aren't on the floor, which that's going to be the case because Kyrie, this game is being played in Brooklyn, so he cannot play. I like Andre Drummond for the time being. We'll see what it looks like when those guys come back, but for now, we're in a good spot, especially against the Wizards, who don't do well against opposing bigs. And look no further than what happened last night. Tristan Thompson just went off for 17 points in 21 minutes against the Wizards, and it seemed like all their bigs had pretty good rebounding numbers as well, the Pacers, that is. And then when you look at the over, too, in games when the Wizards are on the second leg of a back-to-back, the over is 6-1, and the Wizards have the 8th worst defensive rating in the league this season.
All right, Garion.
Yeah, I've just got to echo what Matt was talking about. I mean, Reggie's just too cheap tonight. 6,800 for someone who across the last 3 games he's played, which is the same amount of time that Norman Powell has been out for the Clippers, he's averaging 38.1 minutes per game and has a team-high 27.6% usage rate. I mean, we all know that Houston is the dream of all dream matchups for DFS this season. If you're going to give me Reggie at, even like 34 to 38 minutes, even if he hits the low end of that spectrum, I just don't see how he doesn't bring back value tonight.